So it was about judgment. All right. I think we are going to kind of end here. Let me just kind of wrap it up for you. The point of what I really want you to see tonight is this. I want you to see that, I didn't go to Genesis really. I'm going to have a whole section on that, but I really wanted you to see how 2 Peter is so significant in the history of evolution. These events, these men, you think about what happened. There's a really good book, by the way. David Breeze wrote it. It's called 7 Men Who Rule the World from the Grave. And it's one of the books I recommend all the time to people. And he talks about these men. But if you think about the philosophical vacuum that these men came into, Hutton and Lyell and Darwin and Wellhausen and Freud and Marx and these guys that literally changed the world. They literally changed everything. God said it was going to happen. He prophesied it. And the church, because we were so preoccupied with the wrong things, we had nothing to offer. We had nothing to respond to. And my concern for the church today is that we're kind of in the same place, that we've taken a very defensive posture, and that we're not aggressive. And I don't mean by that, you have to understand me. I'm not saying to be harsh with people, but look, if it's true, then let's figure out ways to talk to people about it. Let's not be ashamed to talk to them about it. Let's talk to them where they're at, where we can start, which is why I always start with the existence of God. I don't start with evolution. Does God exist? Well, would you know? I talk to people about judgment. You ever talk to people about judgment? Hard one, isn't it? But sin and judgment are great. They're great places to talk to people about. How many of you look forward to being judged? I saw one hand. How many of you want to be judged? Okay. How many of you ever judge anybody else? All right. How many of you have ever been judged? No, come on. How many of you have ever been judged? Right? How you look, how your work habits, whether your house is clean, whether your kid, whether your room is done, whether you did the right job at work. You're judged all the time. We need to understand that judgment is not a horrible concept for people. And I tell people all the time, non-believers totally, you want to be judged. And I'll tell you the same to you. Every one of you wants to be judged. But what you want is to be judged positively. Right? You want somebody to say, hey, you're a great guy. You're a great lady. I really like how hard you work. Man, you're a great person. I'm so glad I'm married to you. Or I'm so, right? Is that not a judgment? So when we talk to people, and I say, well, look, you can't have positive without a negative. And I'll tell you this, if God is not going to judge your life, then your life has no meaning. I certainly don't want you to be my judge. Right? I certainly don't want the president to be my judge. I certainly don't want the Congress to be my judge. I certainly don't want Hollywood to be my judge. And I am certain they don't want me to be their judge as well. We don't want to be judged by one another. But the fact of the matter, if we're not judged, then what we do doesn't make any difference. If it doesn't make any difference if you love your wife and take care of your kids and work hard and do good things, or if you're abusive, angry, non-working, lazy husband versus a good one, right? If both people get the same reward, then your life doesn't mean anything. Who cares? In fact, the most irrelevant thing on the face of the earth is evolution if there's no creator. Animated dust, matter, over billions and billions of years, came into existence for absolutely no reason, for no purpose, and finally got animated and then died and went back to dust forever and ever and ever. Honestly, this is the philosophy that evolution is. It's why I'm a Christian. I'm telling you, I believe the Bible. I believe in judgment. I believe in sin. We had, I don't know how many foster kids did we have, Jan? 13? Seemed like more than that, but we have 4 kids, 3 grandkids, as I said earlier. 2 of them are adopted. 13 foster kids in our home. I have never met a child that wouldn't lie, steal, hate, covet, yell, scream, beat up their friend. If they wanted a toy, they'll take it. They don't come up and say, hey, Dad, would you mind if so-and-so shares with me? Right? Is that what your kids did? Right? I mean, how about you guys? You ever told a lie? Anybody here? Okay. What's that make you? Liar. A liar, right? You ever stolen anything, no matter how expensive? Anybody here not ever stolen anything? Now you never? Now you just told me you were a liar just a minute ago, so I don't know if I'm going to believe you at all. You know? Right? We steal cookies, we steal from our friends, when we're kids, we do things. Why? Because it's our nature. Does Christianity fit with reality? You know the number one or number two philosophy of liberalism, and I don't mean modern, well, it's the same ultimately, but of liberalism that developed in the 17th century was that men are no longer sinners. Their rejection of the original sin. They said people are ignorant, they just need to be educated. That is their number one underlying philosophy of all liberal thought. And again, I'm not talking just politically, although it is that, because it started in the church. They rejected the original sin. People are not sinners, they're just ignorant, they need to be educated. The fact of the matter is that people are sinners, and you can demonstrate it just as I did now. I've never had anybody admit they weren't a liar. Well, yeah, everybody is. Yeah, so are you. Right? I remember the first time Ray Comfort said that, and I'm going, I'm a sinner. He said, no, you're a liar. And I went, I don't like that. But that's who I am. I lie because I'm a liar. You steal because you're a thief, because that's what you want to do. Sin is you doing your own thing, not following God's laws. See, Christianity fits. It's true. The Bible